Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now you joined me on what I think is, at least for me, the first day of spring. The sun is kind of out, the weather's kind of warm, but everything is turning green. I've been waiting for this day for a long time because right now we are at the best time, or certainly the beginning of the best period, to go out and shoot infrared photography. Whoa! These roads! I think we might have our first infrared shot. Let's pull into this tiny lay-by, flipping heck. Come on. So this is my infrared camera. It's a Fuji X-T3, which last year I had converted to 720 nanometer infrared. Now, I'm not going to get into the technicals of infrared photography, but 720 nanometer is a good nanometer to go for because it gives you that high contrast black and white, but still allows you, if you wish, to retain a bit of color in your images, so you can get those deep blue skies, white foliage shots, which is something I haven't done. So far, I've only shot in black and white, and that's probably what we're going to do today. So last year, I think I paid about £250 for my X-T3 to be converted to infrared. However, you don't need to commit to a dedicated conversion. You can actually buy filters that clip onto the front of your lens or even that clip onto your sensor. Now these are great, they're cheap, they're versatile, you can use them across any camera and you don't need to actually dedicate one of your camera bodies to infrared only. The downside of filters is that they take away a lot of light, so you can only do long exposures, you're going to need a tripod, and therefore there will be limitations on your photography. So I mentioned before that it was kind of sunny. We have a lot of cloud cover, but every now and again the sun breaks through. And the thing with infrared photography is it absolutely shines in the bright midday summer sun, blue sky days. And that's great because I'm not sure if I'm alone in this, I don't know, like let me know in the comments, but I struggle with summertime photography. It's not so bad now, we're in early May and things are still changing and fresh and exciting, but come July, especially June, July and then into August, man, I just really struggle, and I found that infrared liberates my summertime photography. So yeah, I love it. It's just a great creative way to use those sort of midday times when you wouldn't typically shoot. Now, this is the reason I've pulled over. So I'm sure many of you will have realised I'm in the beautiful Yorkshire Dales National Park, famous for its quaint villages, rural landscapes and these beautiful stone walls and barns that litter the fields, the valleys and the dales. Well, driving past I spotted this and thought, oh come on man, it's just begging to be shot, and the contrast between this fresh spring green grass and these dark walls and barns surely is going to look a treat. I've just got to wait for the sun to pop out, quick shot, and then yeah, I think we'll move off because I'm not a big fan of shooting by the road, but it's definitely worth pulling over for this. So I'm using my 35mm prime here on this X-T3, which I think full frame is the equivalent of about 50mm. I tell you, I couldn't be more happy with these conditions right now. We've got direct sunlight on the subject, which are these fields and barns. They're backlit, so we're shooting the shady side of the walls, so we're getting that contrast. We've got moody skies in the direction that we're shooting, yet we've got a big patch of blue above us, allowing the sunlight through. So, very happy that I pulled over. Yeah, really happy with this. Just going to try a longer lens to see if I can isolate just the barns and the walls. Oh, we are very overexposed. There we go. On cloudy days like this, if you want the direct sunlight on your subject, you've got to move fast because that'll be gone in seconds. So I'm shooting the same scene as I was with my 35mm lens, but obviously I'm going tighter in on the 3 bonds, the walls, the sun's out, it's beautiful. Now I have had problems with this lens in that it gives me hot spots. Some lenses on some cameras, when you shoot infrared, you get hot spots, which is like a white spot. Imagine getting a rain spot bang in the middle of your lens. It kind of looks like that. Now on this lens, it only happens at some focal lengths and at some apertures, and I haven't quite figured out that combination. So I'd love to show you the back of the camera so that you can see what I'm seeing, which is typically what I do on a landscape shoot, but in these bright conditions it's impossible. There's too many reflections on the screen's not bright enough, it's just not going to work. So what I'll do is I'll show you by recording on this what I'm seeing. However, because it's so bright, I have to stop down to like f/18 or something, so actually you'll get to see that hotspot with this lens. But it'll give you an impression of what I'm looking at because I use the Acros film simulation, so I'm already shooting in black and white, and you can just see how much contrast we've got there. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can also see the hotspot. Oh, motorbikes going past. Yeah, there we go. Man, not like shooting by the road. You can see the hotspot. It's not so obvious now because my hotspot's in that bright field, but if I bring it over to the near barn, you can see how that near barn gets a bit washed out. That's the problem with infrared and some lenses. I don't have that problem on my 35mm lens, which is why I love to shoot with this, and I can get away with it sometimes with this lens. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on because, yeah, it's just brilliant, and I want to take advantage of this sunshine. Oh God, I have to say, man, things have really taken a turn for the worse. And actually, I think it's about to rain. Yeah, and I don't have any waterproofs. The weather is not the only thing that's got me by surprise. In this area in particular, there are no leaves on the trees. They're all bare. I'm too early. So what I'm thinking actually is foreboding moody skies, skeletal-like trees could be quite good. Yeah, I don't know, adapt. That's what you've got to do as a photographer, landscape photographer. You've got to adapt and work with the conditions that you've been given. Never fight them. So I'm just walking up on this plateau at the top of the hill, and in the distance I can see a tree. Now it doesn't look like much from this angle, but what I'm thinking is if I can get, oh yeah, my finger's out of focus, you can't see that. If I can get up here looking back in this direction with those moody skies, there could be an image here. So we're going to walk over there and have a look. That's the thing with photography. I find that if you see something, even if it doesn't immediately work as an image, it's always worth investigating. Just follow your intuition, and that's exactly what I'm doing with this tree.
I'm on the move, out into the great wide open, look out world.
Yeah, sadly that tree didn't work, maybe in better light, but I just couldn't isolate it from the background. Basically, there was too many distractions, too much chaos. Worth a look though. Always worth a look. It's getting cold now. Getting cold. So whilst that first tree may not have worked, I spotted this little fella here. It's just got a few green leaves on it and they are just popping. So I've been working trying to find a composition. I've been up top there and just couldn't find a shot. The whole background was chaos and cluttered. It looked a mess. So I've scrambled down the hill a bit. So I'm beneath the tree. Now typically I don't like shooting with so much sky in the background, but with infrared, it just seems to really work. Now, at the minute, there's not enough blue sky to make a pair of sailor's trousers, so it's not really working, but I'm hoping the clouds are going to part because it is changeable, and then this shot could possibly work as just a nice minimalist number. What I really need, what I would just, oh my God, I'd give my left arm for, would be just 20 seconds of direct sunlight on that tree. It would be incredible because the sun is just about there, so it would hit it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Stick around, I've got a bit of time, and I haven't really seen any other compositions, so yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. I'm stood on a very, very unstable hillside at the minute, so struggling to stand up. But man, I just want to demonstrate. I've just got my infrared camera here set to video, and man, the landscape looks so, hang on, oh, blooming neck, hang on, I'm gonna sit down. Oh, yeah, that's a bit better. The landscape looks so different. Let me just hit record here. Okay, so you can see now, to my eyes, there's not an image here. There would never be an image here. But as I look through the infrared camera, it just looks so interesting with that big band of cloud on the distance and the way that the grass is just glowing beautiful white and the distant trees really stand out. So it goes to show you should always have your camera to hand so that you can just eyeball things, because the same with this tree, it doesn't really look like it makes an image, but when you see it in infrared it does. Now I don't think we're going to get any light, I don't think we're going to get any more blue sky, so I'll grab this shot and then I'm going to walk back down and maybe get an overview of the fields and all of the stone walls and see if we can get one final shot. But yeah, I think this morning was the best. That light that we had with those stone walls was just fantastic. Ugh. Well, it's a simple shot, a simple subject. It's definitely not at its best, but always worth shooting, worth experimenting. I don't think that last image quite worked. Definitely worth a go though. And sadly, it looks like it's just starting to rain, so that might just put things to a stop for the day. I think we'll head back to the van and decompress. Now I'm actually going to stay over in the Yorkshire Dales in my van tonight because tomorrow I'm filming next week's video, and I encourage you, if you're not a subscriber, to subscribe because you're not going to want to miss that video. Now here's the thing, I'm a bit nervous about next week's video, which I'm filming tomorrow, because I'm contractually obliged not to tell you anything about it. That's right, I'm doing something I've never done before. I am getting my hands on something that is new, or will be new, that is totally secretive, NDA, non-disclosure form. It's got an embargo. I'm filming next week's video tomorrow, but I believe the embargo is lifted next Wednesday. So I'm going to be one of the very first photographers with this thing in my hands, out shooting it. Oh, yeah, not necessarily shooting it, using it in the Yorkshire Dales National Park. So yeah, definitely make sure you subscribe. I can't say anything more than that, but you know, it doesn't take a genius to work out what it might be, right? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. All right, bye, 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 bye.